So I've been calling the probate list on my county's website, and so like I've been calling them, but like I don't really know how to talk to them. Um, I've been like when I call them, I address them by their first name. I don't know if that's a mistake or not. I
Okay.
like is that bad?
So have you been to freewholesaling.com? Check out like the probates?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me give you a couple quick tips because I only got so much time here.
Hmm.
Is a much different strategy. It's not like your power cold calling 500 people. Always think
Right.
of any type of call to a probate as you got to think of it as like a warm call. The hardest
Hmm.
part is going to be the first 20 seconds. It's brutal.
Right.
It's like it's like approaching someone that you just don't want to have. You need to have that conversation with, but you're very uncomfortable. So think back when
Yeah.
you were a teenage boy and you're trying to get your first date. I don't care how you did it. It just took like courage to kind of talk to him because
Yeah.
you. So you've already accepted. Most likely, you will get rejected, right?
Yes. I've
Okay, so
actually
you're
talked
okay
to a
with that,
couple
right?
people today.
So
Yeah.
you have to get through the first 20 seconds.
Hmm.
I gotta tell you, man, there is no one better than my son to get through this first 20 seconds because probate's awkward. It's just for the longest time I refused to cold call probates because I thought it was kind of like what's the word for it? I just thought it was kind of cruel. I'm like, man, you guys are
Yeah.
like
It
brutal with your
really
deal. But
is. Like I
but
don't know. Like.
so I that's why I never tell people to chase obituaries. Like you did,
Mm,
if you've ever had somebody pass away in your family, the
yeah.
last thing you want is a phone call from a stranger to sell you something when something terrible happened to a family. So guys,
So
you obituary chasers down, other than information, please don't cold call them because there's this thing called morals. Okay. Number two, when
right.
you call them, you've got to make it not to just don't even get into the probate. I don't even get into it.
Mm,
Hey, I was
yeah. I
just
don't.
curious about the house on 123 A US Street. Are you the owner? Yes, no, and like kind of go into it and just kind of ask them simple questions because if they're going to hang up onto you, they're going to do it in the first 20 seconds. In my experience of probates, if you can
Yeah.
survive the 20-second clock, I used to set a little clock, and if I could get through the first 30 seconds,
uh,
and then I know they would hang up. If I get through the first minute, I could actually kind of get to know them. The problem is it's tough.
mm,
You got to find a way to get to know them, and by you running them over, so either they avoid the probate completely or they smack you in the mouth with it. And this is where you
yeah.
have to be genuine
So
and go, hey, just I don't for that reason I don't call them. I go, yeah, I know your uncle died, but what are you guys doing with it? You're
mhm,
never going to get anywhere with that. So I still like
right.
mailing them a letter too because it's simple and it's cheap. And a lot of the older
Hmm.
people like to respond to mail, so don't forget about that either because it's really cheap. But honestly, you have to survive the first 20, 30 seconds of that phone call. If you can get
Right.
through that, but the problem is most people can't get through that. And if you can survive
Hmm.
the first 30 seconds, you'll do just fine. Because a lot of times
Right.
they'll go like this. I go, hey, we're looking to buy some houses in the area. I saw your house on 46th Street. Is that your house? And they're like, they kind of, it's yes, no. And then they'll go, who is this?
Hmm.
Hey, this is John. Who am I speaking with? Is this Judy? How'd you get this information?
Yeah.
Actually,
So
my partner drove by your house and we saw it's if you had an interest in selling it. At that point, they either hang up on you or they're going to go, my mom just died. And that's where
mhm,
most people just sit there with your mouth open and you got to go, man, I'm I'm super sorry. Is this a good time or like do you want me to like pull back? Like I'm going to
yeah.
say something very respectful because most telemarketers will run them over. I just had
Hmm.
someone call me today. I'm like, "Hey, give me your number and I'll call you back later." Well, I can't do that. I'm like, "Well, what the hell am I getting?" Like he got to get through 3,000 calls and he has to get through it. Probate, you have to be extremely patient and you have to slow down.
Right.
And she goes,
Yeah.
"Listen,
That.
this really isn't a good time. Hey, Judy, what's the best time? I don't want to bother you. I just, um, I'm looking to buy a house in that area. I have some questions about the house. I didn't really know this about it, so I respect the family time. What's a good time to call back?" She's like, "Call me back in a week. Make a note. Call him back in a week. Don't call him back every day. You just got to get through the first 30 seconds." Tip number two on probates: I don't even talk price till after 5 or 6 contacts.
Mm.
The
So you
minute
like
you
build
hit them
up a
with price,
relationship with
they're
them?
going to run, they're going to blow you off. So I'm going
Yeah.
to spend that time connecting with them, and then I'm going to qualify and see if there's going to be any type of motivation for the sell. Some people in probate,
Right.
they just want to keep the property in the family, and you got to get rid of those
Mhm.
people as soon as you can. But you
Yeah.
can't just be nasty. Like, just get through it. I'm telling you, Montel, if you can survive the first 30 seconds of those calls, you'll do well. So if you
Yeah.
think like, okay, I just got to survive the first 30 seconds. So like any good advertiser, you got to work on your first two lines.
Mhm.
And you can do what Zach does, which is pretty good, which is the freewholesaling.com, or you practice your spiel. Everyone adapts a little bit and just get through it. And that's once you do it, there's only a few things they can say to you. How did you get this number? Do you know so and so just died? And
Mhm.
you can't have that like, oh my God, I can't believe they just died because you're lying to them. Just go, yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I go, listen, I've had some experience with probate with our family. I do have some experience with it. Is this a good time I can talk to you right now? You have to get permission. You can't run somebody over in probate. They won't do business with you.
Yep.
So if I call 50 or 60 people, maybe 3 or 4 will actually talk to me, and I'm okay with it. The
Right.
reason I do the cold calling, which we call warm calling, because realtors stepped the game up so much that they were
Mhm.
listing properties and they were beating me to the letter. So for that reason, I do like when you reach out and skip trace them and cold call them. So 30 seconds, you got to find a way to survive that, because if you survive that and then you end it on a good note, nobody cares what you do in the middle.
Okay. So I have three quick questions.
Go ahead. Let's
So
go.
one, do you need to have an attorney to close a probate deal?
What state are
Um,
you in?
Texas.
So this is the part where I tell you guys to work with a local title company, which is usually started associated with a real estate attorney.
Mhm.
But reach out to a local title company, and they will give you that answer for free. I
Okay.
don't want to give you bad information. I'm not really familiar with all Texas laws. I don't think
Right.
you do, but I want you to get the exact answer. Don't trust what I say.
Right.
And that's a simple
Okay.
phone call on Monday. Just go, hey, I'm dealing with some probate. Do I need an attorney to close it, or you guys can handle it? And then find out if that's going to be your the title company you use for your wholesaling, and they'll help you out with that. Guys, a lot of
Okay.
the answers, they're just people you got to reach out to and get factual information. If you guys get it on the internet, it it, it can create problems for you because you don't know if like they're qualified to answer the question. What's your next one?
Right. So when I'm pulling the list, how far do I go back? Because Zach said 30 days, but
Yeah,
I but I feel like that's a little bit too soon because like I feel like they're still mourning
I
at
don't
that
know.
point.
So I want you to understand this. Probates, by the time they file probate, they
Hmm.
let time go by between that and when the person passes away. I'm even
Okay.
telling you from personal experience. I just went through this with family. I'm here to tell you
Hmm.
that um, people typically file probate 30 to 60 days after somebody passes away.
Okay. Wait, so
You
the
wait too
heirs
late.
filed it themselves?
Well, they typically hire an attorney to file the probate. That's how most
Okay.
states operate. So
Mm,
they're not like the day they die. They're not running out to go get a probate attorney. They've probably already been in touch with them if they're older.
right.
And so once they file the probate, usually 30 to 60 days has already gone by past the funeral, in my experience.
Mm,
So it's not like off an obituary, man. That's ice cold stuff right there, man. That's terrible.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
the problem is if you go too far back in probates, you're getting dead leads and you're wasting your time. I thought I was cute. I pulled all like 6 months or 12 months of probates, and I didn't get a deal. The only ones I got deals with the ones that fresh came off the press.
Yeah.
And
That's
you
that's
just got to be nicer, and you got to be more patient than all the other people. And guys, I
mhm,
don't claim to do hundreds of probates a year. I I do 10 to 15 probates a year, but they are monsters. I mean, my
mhm.
profit level on a probate is approaching each one of them like triple figures. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. That's why I do them, but I don't do a lot of them. That's why there's like gurus don't like to brag about them because they're not like, um, but they're cheap, they're easy, and
Yeah.
they're vacant, and they're usually rundown houses, and they are like a dream for a wholesaler. If you guys don't do probates, you're missing the boat. So,
Yeah. I feel
okay,
like
what
that's
else
like
you got?
definitely uh I think that was it. So yeah.
Okay. That's right. Guys, I got to watch my Miami Heat tonight. I just got to clean
Yeah.
up on the Sixers. I hope there's not too many Sixer fans on here, but it's
Joel
just
Embiid's
sports
playing
on it,
tonight.
man. I love
Yeah.
it. Okay, bud. Anything else?
No, that's it. I appreciate your time.
So guys, probates requires patience and it requires to have like like a human heart. You can't just
Mm.
run people over. It's like crazy. So you got it, man. Just work on that and then you know where to join us. So